guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a very fun and exciting video to share with you. I am so worried this lipstick is gonna get on my teeth. I keep having to check it, but anyways, I have a very fun, exciting dupes video for you. Today we're going to be testing out some Pinterest dupes. Some of these you guys may have seen before. Some of these have been kind of circulating around, and hopefully I've got some new stuff to share with you guys. But I can't believe I have never done a dupes video on my channel before. I don't know why. I guess it just never even occurred to me to even think of doing something like that. But I know for a fact I have a lot of dupes in my stash. I have a fairly large stash of both drugstore and high-end, so I thought this video would be really helpful for you guys. I wanted to start doing more dupe videos, and I figured testing out some Pinterest dupes was the perfect place to begin. So I've been seeing a lot of these dupes showing up on my Pinterest feed, so I started pinning them and looking through them, and basically what I did is I just searched through my collection, and if I had both the drugstore and high-end dupe already in my collection, I just went ahead and pulled them, and we're gonna test them out today to see if they really are dupes. So I did already film part of applying my makeup today because one half of my face is drugstore and one is high-end. I'm not going to tell you guys quite yet which is which. Before I get more into this video, if you want to pop down below and leave me a comment, let me know which side you think is which. Is it my right side or my left side? Let me know what you guys think. But yeah, I've got a whole bunch of dupes in here for us to test out, so let's jump right in. So I'm gonna save the ones that I actually tested on my face for the end of the video. There's a few here that I couldn't test on my face, and I'm gonna show you why. So the first one is a bronzer dupe. So apparently, according to Pinterest, the Hoola bronzer from Benefit is a dupe for the, or I should say it the other way around, the NYC Smooth Skin bronzer in the shade Sunny is a dupe for the Hoola bronzer. You guys, you can see right when I open this up, I don't believe that these are dupes, so I'll show you. If you look at these side by side, look how much more orange this looks to this one. This one is so much more cool toned. And I did just recently do a bronzer video, which I'll link above, where I talked about this Hoola bronzer in length. It's such a great bronzer for contouring. I don't really use the Sunny bronzer for contouring because I feel like it's more of a true bronzer for bronzing the face. So let's swatch these side by side. I was really afraid to use them on half my face because I do have to work tonight, and I don't want to go into work with two different colored bronzers on my face. So let me show you guys these swatches. So the top one here, that is the Sunny bronzer, and then the bottom one is the Hoola bronzer. I think this is definitely a fail. I would definitely not call those dupes. The formulation might be similar, but I don't even think so. The Sunny bronzer is much more powdery. It kicked up a lot of powder. I don't know. I would not call those dupes at all. Am I wrong? Do you guys see that? Is it me? I would definitely not call those dupes. So I think this first dupe was a fail. Okay, as long as we're talking about bronzers, there was a second bronzer dupe that I was able to find. So it was the Rimmel Natural Bronzer is supposed to be a dupe for the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer. And again, I feel like these are not dupes as soon as I open them up. Now, I'm wondering if maybe there's different shades of this. When I looked at the pin, it didn't specifically say which shade. It just said the Natural Bronze Bronzer from Rimmel, but I have it in the shade Sun Bronze, so maybe there's a different shade that is a closer dupe to the Chocolate Soleil. If there is, let me know, you guys, because it didn't really say in there. So yeah, maybe it's a different shade, but as you can see, again, this drugstore version is much warmer than this one here. It's a lot cooler, and I'll go ahead and swatch them side by side for you guys. So there's the swatches. This time I put the Chocolate Soleil on the top, and then the bottom one is the Rimmel bronzer. So I actually think these are closer than the first two that I swatched. Those are actually closer than I thought that they would be, but they are still different. The bottom one is warmer in my opinion. Can you guys see? On camera, they look a lot more similar than they do when I look at my hand in person, but this one is more chocolatey brown and this one is a warmer brown in person. On camera, it doesn't look that way, but in my opinion, I still don't think these are a dupe, you guys. I don't know, maybe I'm picky about bronzers. Maybe it's really hard for me to find a dupe on a bronzer, because those actually look really close on camera. What do you guys think? I'm kind of on the fence on this one. What do you guys think? Is that a dupe? I'm gonna say maybe. I would think like if you didn't apply one half to one side of your face and the other to the other, if you actually just applied this whole thing everywhere, you might get kind of a similar effect to this, but I still don't think, I would still not quite call this a dupe. So moving on from there, I actually have a powder dupe to talk about. This is the Wet n Wild Color Icon Reserve Your Cabana, and then I have my Hourglass ambient light powder. So in particular, Pinterest says that dim light is a dupe for this here. Dim light is going to be this first one right here. You know, side by side in the pan, I think the middle one, which is actually incandescent light, looks closer like a dupe as far as the pan goes. But let's go ahead and swatch these. I'm gonna swatch dim light and incandescent light next to Reserve Your Cabana. There's the swatches. Are you guys gonna be able to see this one? I hope you can. Can you guys see that? Yes, you can. Okay, so this top one is the top one is dim light, the middle one is incandescent light, and then the bottom one is Reserve Your Cabana. So I actually feel like Reserve Your Cabana is much closer to incandescent light than dim light. But yeah, do you guys see that? But as far as the actual powder's formulation, wow, it really does look very, very similar. I've just blended them out. So I absolutely love using this to set my under eye. It's like my favorite thing to do, or I use it as a highlight on days where I want a super natural subtle highlight, and that is exactly what I use these two powders for as well. The same purpose. So I definitely would say yes, this is definitely a dupe. And the nice thing about this is this big, huge powder, I want to say this is like $4 or something crazy. It's so inexpensive, and this guy was like 60 bucks. So if you want these two powders, you basically can dupe them in this. So I would definitely call this one a dupe. So thumbs up. Okay, so next up I had some concealer dupes, and honestly, I had a really difficult time with telling whether or not these were dupes because my concealer shades are so different. So apparently I don't know how to match myself in concealer because some of these are really pink and some are really yellow. But I'm just gonna tell you guys the possibility of these dupes, but it's gonna be hard for us to test them. I mean, I couldn't test them on my face because otherwise I'd end up with two different shades of concealers. But the first dupe is the Nars Creamy Concealer versus the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. And I did test these as far as consistency. I'm gonna go ahead and put them side by side. Just keep in mind, I understand the colors are quite different, and that's because apparently I don't know what shade I am. The yellow one here is the Nars Creamy Concealer, and then the pinker one is the Fit Me Concealer from Maybelline. So these actually do feel very, very similar as far as coverage. I'm just gonna blend it a little bit so you guys can see how it covers on my hand. Do you guys see that? I didn't blend it out all the way. I just wanted to kind of show you. As far as consistency, this is definitely a very full coverage concealer, just like the Nars one. And as far as the creaminess, it does feel extremely, extremely similar. So I think we probably could call that one a dupe. It does feel like the same concealer, obviously in two different shades, but it feels very, very similar. And then the other dupe that I have for concealer, which again, the colors are totally different. I don't know what it is with me. For some reason, my drugstore ones are more pink and my high-end ones are more yellow, but I have the Urban Decay Naked Skin versus the NYX HD Concealer. So let's go ahead and try these guys as well on my hand. And I did actually use the I used the Naked Skin Concealer for my under eye concealer today, and then I used this NYX one on my eyelid to cancel out color and also to provide like a primer base. And just feeling the consistency when I did that earlier, I can definitely tell you guys the NYX one is more sticky, a lot more sticky, and the one from Urban Decay, which is going to be the yellow one right here, that one's a lot thinner, and it's got less coverage than the one from NYX. So the NYX one is a thicker, stickier consistency, and the Naked Skin is smoother and creamier and less coverage, if that makes sense. So I don't think these are dupes whatsoever. Obviously the color is very different too, but I think the formulation on these are very, very different. So I would not call these a dupe. All right, now I'm gonna show you some of the footage of the ones that I actually applied to my face. So if you guys haven't guessed yet, guess real quick which side you think is drugstore and which side you think is high-end, because I am about to tell you. So this side of my face is the high-end side and this side is the drugstore side. So the first product that I applied to my face was the highlighter. So the high-end side here is going to be the Mary Luminizer by the Balm, and the drugstore side was the e.l.f. highlighter in the shade Moonlight Pearls. So I will kind of insert the footage as I talk so you guys can see. I applied the Balm one first and it went on very creamy and very pigmented. So as soon as I put it on, it was like, bam, there's my highlight. You guys will be able to see me do that. And it was a little difficult to blend out because I probably put a little more than I needed on because I wanted it to come across on camera. So I don't know if you got how well it will pick up on camera. My lights do wash me out a slight bit, but I did go ahead and apply that to the right side. And then I went ahead and applied the e.l.f. one to the left side, and it went on a lot less pigmented and it's more of a less creamy feeling. It's got more of a scratchy, kind of a chunky feeling. So I don't think the texture of these are very similar at all, but the color is very similar. So you'll be able to see, I think once I blended everything out, they look really, really similar. However, I still feel like the Balm side looks more pigmented. So I think you're gonna be able to see it better on camera, and in person you can see it better as well. The e.l.f. side does have a little bit of chunky glitter compared to the Balm, which kind of sinks in a little bit more and just shows up as a glow. But I really do like both of these a lot, but I just feel like they're very different. So if you want a very subtle, natural highlight, I would suggest the e.l.f. one. If you like a bam in your face highlight, I would say try the Balm. You'll probably like that one better. But the colors are identical. So the colors are the same, Mary Lou, and then this is going to be the e.l.f. highlighter. And I'll just show you guys if you can see that at all. The Mary Lou is showing up much, much better, and the e.l.f. one just kind of disappears a little bit. The colors are the same, it's just this one is a lot more pigmented. Formulations are different. So this is kind of a in-between, not really an exact dupe, but a close enough dupe that if you wanted to get away with saving some money, then you could do the e.l.f. Okay, I also applied this guy today. I actually did this one before the Balm one, but that's okay. So I applied the Makeup Forever HD translucent powder to the right side of my face, and then the e.l.f. high definition powder to the left side of my face. And I have mentioned to you guys before that I feel like this is a dupe. I definitely think these are dupeable. The nice thing about it is this giant e.l.f. powder is only $3, whereas this Makeup Forever powder, this is the miniature size that you get in the Beauty To Go. This size costs $22. If you buy the full size, it's $32. So holy smokes, you can save yourself almost $30 by buying this one. And they look exactly the same. They're a translucent powder. They feel the same. Both have that kind of slippery, smooth texture to them. They're gonna give you the exact same effect. They'll mattify your foundation. You can use it as a blotting powder throughout the day if you start to get a little too shiny, but don't go overboard because you don't want to white cast. What you do is just dip your brush, tap off the excess, and use that to apply to your whole face. A little bit goes a long way with the translucent powder, but if you apply it correctly, both of these powders are great, but save yourself some money and get the e.l.f. one. Next, I did my eyeshadow, and I actually did use two different palettes today. So I used the Urban Decay Original Naked palette on the right side of my face, and then I used the Revealed palette from Coastal Scents, and this is the original one again. And this one I used on the left side. I will go ahead and go through and show you which particular eyeshadows I used on my eye. The ones from Coastal Scents aren't named, so that'll be a little trickier, but I do have footage of this as well, so I'll kind of insert that as I'm talking. But what I did is I started with the shade Naked from the Urban Decay palette, and that I went ahead and blended out in my crease. And then from the Revealed palette, I picked up the 4th shade in from the top on the Revealed palette and used that to blend into the crease on the left side of my face, on my left eye. And then what I did from there is I took the shade Sin from the Naked palette and put that on the inner 1/3 of my eye. I also brought it down into kind of my inner corner as well. And I took the 3rd shade in from the top on the Revealed palette, and that is what I used on the inner 1/3 of my left eye. Back to the right eye, I used the shade Toasted from the Naked palette, and that went on the outer 2/3 of my lid, and I also kind of pulled it up into the crease just a slight bit. I wanted this to be a very natural kind of smoky look, and I also wanted them to look exactly the same, so I was trying to find shades that were very, very similar. And for the left eye, I took the 5th shade from the bottom on the Coastal Scents palette, and that is what I applied to the same part of my eye on the left eye. From there, I took those same last 2 shades that I mentioned from those 2 palettes. I took those on a pencil brush and smoked out my bottom lash line as well. So as far as these 2 palettes go, I would say these are definitely dupeable. So obviously they're not identical. In the Naked palette, you only get 12 shades, whereas in the Coastal Scents palette, you get 20 shades. The pan sizes aren't exactly the same, but they are very, very similar. So I feel like you get more product in this one, and it's obviously a lot cheaper. This is about $20 on the Coastal Scents site, whereas this is $54 at Sephora and Ulta. A lot of the shades in here are almost identical. The ones that I applied, I feel like, are pretty much identical. There are a few others that are very, very similar in here. This bluish gray on the bottom here compared to the one on the end there are almost identical. This one's a little lighter, but they're very, very similar. You're gonna get a very similar effect from this palette as you would for this one. So if you have been wanting to get this palette from Urban Decay and you wanna save some money, I would say go ahead and try this because it is definitely a dupe. The very last dupe that I have to share with you guys, I don't know if you guys have noticed this while I'm talking, but I have 2 different lipsticks on. So I do have the MAC Rebel lipstick on the right half of my lips, and then on the other side I have Wet n Wild Sugar Plum Fairy. I have to say, you guys, applying lipstick to just one half of your lips, especially a bold color like this, is a little bit difficult. So I hope I did a good job. I hope it's not too obvious that I have 2 different lipsticks on. It did kind of overlap a little bit in the center, but I think these are definitely a dupe. So I love MAC lipsticks. I think they are very long wearing and very comfortable. This one is a satin finish, by the way, which I really love the satin finishes from MAC, and I have to say the same thing about these Wet n Wild lipsticks. These are, I don't know what they call these, but in this packaging right here with the black and then the clear lid, these ones are incredible. I love the formulation on these. I have, I think, every shade because they are just so good. They just wear beautifully. They last forever on the lips, and for a drugstore lipstick, they're really incredible quality. They might be my favorite drugstore lipstick. The other thing is they're only $1.99 compared to the MAC lipsticks, as you guys probably know, are $17 each. So what a steal. There is the swatches on those. The bottom one is the Wet n Wild and the top one is MAC, and I don't even think you guys can tell a difference. I hope you can't tell a difference because I do have them both on my lips, and I definitely say this is a awesome dupe. So if you've been wanting MAC's Rebel lipstick and you want to save some money, go get the Wet n Wild one. Also, another perk about it is MAC is not cruelty free. Wet n Wild is, so there you go. Alright, you guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this dupes video today. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to give this a thumbs up, and then I'll know you're enjoying it, and I will make more of these in the future. I know I have more dupes lurking in my collection, so I've been swatching things and looking through things, and my next video I'm planning to share with you guys is not going to be Pinterest dupes. It's going to be dupes that I've personally found that I think are true dupes. So I hope you guys are interested in seeing that video. If you are, please let me know. And thank you so much for watching today. I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.